Namaste and welcome. It is Rishi here from meditatewithrishi.com, and today we are speaking about how to have material goals on the spiritual path. How can you have both? How can you blend the two, essentially? Today's video is a continuation from yesterday's video where we spoke about why fulfilling desires does not lead to happiness. So if you haven't watched that, I would recommend going and watching that first. I will link it in the description box below. But the essence of it was that the nature of desire is that when you fulfill a desire, it multiplies. More desires come to take that desire's place. So that means that we're always constantly chasing. And if we peg our happiness on the fulfillment of a desire, then we will never reach there. Because as soon as we reach there, more desires come up and then we're again chasing happiness externally, okay? So the trick is to be happy first and then set goals for yourself. And this is how you can, set material goals on the spiritual path. This is what we're going to speak about today. But the first thing that you need to establish is that fulfilling desires doesn't lead to happiness. I can be happy within me. In fact, the only way I can be happy is first within me. Because the happiness that I seek outside, the reason I seek it is because it's actually within me. The nature of my soul is pure bliss, pure happiness. And this is what I need to connect to by turning inward. How do you do this? Simple. Spiritual practice, meditation. The more you connect to the divinity within you, to what is in your heart, the more you connect to your inner essence, the more you will feel complete. So this is not something that can be understood on an intellectual level. You simply do the practice and you will feel it for yourself, okay? Then naturally, what will happen is you will stop pegging your happiness on external desire fulfillment, okay? Then is when the real game starts. The real game of life starts. Because now you can expand without being attached to what is happening out there. Now you can expand without being attached to what is happening out there, okay? So I want to give you two ways, two things, or two perspectives that will help you, have material goals while being on the spiritual path, yet being completely detached, okay? So once you've established that happiness comes from within, you're doing spiritual practice, you are connecting to this inner essence and feeling this happiness from within you, then it'll become natural, okay? Then the first thing you can do, the first thing to do is to differentiate between need and greed, okay? To differentiate between need and greed, because ultimately we need things. You need to go and work or have a business so you can earn money, so you can eat and sleep and have a roof over your head. All this is necessary, right? You need stuff. So we need to differentiate between need and greed. What do we need to be happy, okay? And then what is greed? Where are we going? Where are we crossing the line and then just becoming greedy, thinking that other things will make us more happy, right? And there's actually something called the fulfillment curve, which is research that was done, and it actually shows that for human beings, there is a graph, okay, I'll put it here, where you can see that for initially the amount of money that you're spending, right, from zero, it kind of increases. The more money you spend, the more fulfilled you feel, because you are first of all meeting your needs like basic food, clothing, shelter, okay, and then maybe some comforts. But then there's a place where it peaks. And after that peak point, any more amount of money that you spend on yourself actually decreases the amount of fulfillment that you feel. This is fantastic research because it has basically caught or grasped the human condition on that graph. It's beautiful, okay? This is actually how it works. So what we need to do, all of us as individuals, is figure out what is my happiness line, essentially. You really sit and think about it. Like, what do I need? And what will make me happy? I can have some comforts as well, great. but what will make me happy? And then you need to really like sit down, literally write it down, you know, everything. What kind of house you want to live in, how much money you want to earn, what you'll spend that on, what is it that you need in your day-to-day life that will make you happy? And once you know that, you put a monetary amount on it, and you know that, okay, this monetary amount coming in every single month or coming in every single year meets my needs. I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, I have some comforts, I don't really need any more than this, okay? So you differentiate between need and greed, okay? Once you're able to do this, then you make a resolution that from here, see, you're gonna wanna grow, right? You're always gonna wanna expand. If you're working somewhere, you're gonna want a promotion. If you have a business, you're gonna wanna expand it. You're going to want more money. But once you've established the difference between need and greed, then you can do number two. And number two is that you grow to give instead of to consume. Okay, I'll say that again. You grow to give instead of to consume for yourself. Okay, and this is where you say that everything I earn, you know, beyond my personal line of need and a bit of comfort, everything beyond that personal line that we establish in step one, it's just to give away. It's to actually, it's not giving away, we're actually giving back to ourselves, because we are the universe, we're all connected, right? And there's so many ways that we can give. I mean, right now, if you look at the state of the planet, there are humans that are suffering, there are animals that are suffering, there is the planet, Mother Earth itself, that is suffering. This is why there's so many great people that are doing work on rivers, you know, just cleaning up on the oceans that need cleaning up. There's so much that we can do, essentially, right? But it's once you get into this kind of psyche that, okay, I know what my personal needs are, and from here I want to grow to give. This makes it all happen. I'm not standing here on a pedestal saying that I've done all of this, but it is the way to actually be happy, because ultimately, how much will we chase? How much will we chase? How much will we eat? Right? How much will you wear? Like, it's not going to make you happier, right? One great example I like to give you is the very, very famous Baba Ramdev. Okay, Baba Ramdev, if you haven't heard of him, is an Indian, like the most famous yoga teacher in the world. He's the one that actually brought physical yoga back on the scene many years ago. And he is one of the most successful businessmen in India. Okay, so he's a Swami, which means he's a holy man. But he has built a company, you know, named Patanjali, that is one of the biggest and has been the fastest growing consumer goods company in India. Okay, it's massive. I don't know the exact figure, but it's over $1 billion. And I mean, his success. So this is a person, right? I would like to believe that what he says is true, that he sleeps on the floor. You know, he's a monk, right? So he sleeps on the floor. He just wears his orange robe, and none of that money is actually in his name. It is in a trust or whatever you want to call it. But the point is that his view is that he's doing this for the country, essentially, because it's so easy to badmouth people. It's so easy to so many people say that, oh, you know, he's a holy man. Why is he in business? He's a monk. Why is he in business? Well, what is, you know, what is a yogi supposed to do? The true definition of you know, like a highly spiritual person, we discussed this in the previous in a video a couple of days ago, is that they have the welfare of all beings in their heart. So he's actually working, right? He's working to make things happen. It's such a big company that provides employment. It ensures that money stays in the country, right? Because he has produced goods that people buy instead of buying things from international companies like cosmetics and all these things. So do you see what I mean? Like he personally sleeps on the floor. He wears a robe, right? The same robe. And that's it. but he has built a multi-billion-dollar organization from this principle that you grow to give and not to consume. Now, I don't know what the reality is. I don't know what his agenda is. I can't read his mind, but I would like to believe that this is true. And he's a great example. Businessmen from all over India come and ask him that, how have you done this? Because his company it's gone to multi-billion dollars in just a few years. It's growth that is unprecedented for that type of company. And they come and ask him that, how have you done this? What is your secret? What is your secret? And what is he going to say? My secret is that I'm a yogi. I have more life energy in me than you do, right? My mind is sharper. My body is fitter. I can think at levels you cannot fathom. That is the truth. So why not use that for good? Why not use it for good? Right? That's the point. So you can have material goals on the spiritual path. You should, because you are, you want to expand, right? But we're not, if you're watching this video, I imagine that you're not somebody that, has gone away to the mountains or to a monastery. If that's the path you've taken, then that's a different story. But it's likely that if you're watching this video, you have a spiritual practice, but you are living very much in the world. And when we're living in the world, spirituality does not mean stagnation. It means expansion, and on all levels, right? But with that perspective, that you are detached, that, okay, my happiness is not going to come from this, but I'm not doing it for happiness. I'm already happy. I'm doing it because I am a being that needs to expand, to grow, and in order to give, essentially. So this is how you have material goals, even if you're a serious seeker on the spiritual path, okay? So I really hope that this helps and gives you some clarity on the perspective you need to take. So I'll just summarize. The first thing we said is that that happiness comes from within, okay? Your goals cannot make you happy. Fulfilling desires cannot make you happy. And for that, you do spiritual practice. Once this starts to be cultivated, then the first thing you need to do is to differentiate between need and greed. Figure out, what do I need? And beyond this is not for me, okay? But then you have goals to grow because it's what you want to do. And then you grow in order to give and not to consume. Then you grow in order to give and not to consume, okay? So that is it. I really hope that, this was helpful. Thank you very much for listening. Namaste.